of firearms.
Provides the two countries with a firm foundation in dealing with all matters that can easily become a threat to peace, security, and stability of the two countries.
At our level, we have reviewed and examined the document, and we are satisfied that it meets the aspiration of our country's defense forces, and it is in line with the strategic guidance which we were given.
Collective response to cross-border crimes, streamlined movement of firearms, among others, are pointed out for this defensive cooperation.
Done today will facilitate, will give that framework to ensure that we enhance our cooperation, even as the threats grow in our region and beyond. Globally, it is it's not a local threat. Terrorism is a global threat, and we want to see how we can enhance our cooperation.
This has come at a time of the escalating insecurity in the Karamoja region, which warrants collaboration of these nations. The Turkana from Kenya are accused of smuggling guns into Uganda, which are being used for cattle rustling.
By introducing the free flow of arms into these areas, our pastoral communities on either side will regain full peace. Certainly, I have doubt that this flow of arms into our areas will make our pastoral communities on either side to have continued insecurity and instability, and therefore they need to be supported. We need to support ourselves to engage in more viable economic development strategies to foster social and economic transformation.
The Security Cooperation Agreement of these two nations is a micro-pact in the East African region to solve prevailing dynamic security solutions between Uganda and Kenya. Abdul Nasele Lubwama and Lydia Kiomukama for UBC News.
The 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Baliku Dembe, has asked the Kenyan government to produce the suspected murderers and the guns recently used to kill 3 geologists and 2 UPDF soldiers in Lokisile, Lotus and Sub-County, Moroto District. He said they want the above fulfilled before the Turkana are allowed to graze their livestock in Uganda once again. Brigadier Baliku Dembe was receiving guns taken from the murdered soldiers from the Kenyan officials in Loima, Turkana County in Kenya.
I think the bullets missing, there are 4.
The 3rd Division Commander, Brigadier General Joseph Baliku Dembe, has asked the Kenyan government to produce the suspected murderers who recently killed 3 surveyors and 2 UPDF soldiers for justice can prevail.
We may not say that let the Turkana go back to Kubebe, they enjoy pasture and water, when we still have the perpetrators with the guns used to kill those people that are still with them. We would be happy today to see the police of Kenya with the guns that killed those people, the geologists and UPDF soldiers. They are here and the suspects are here so that we can charge them in courts of law, so that these people can learn that when you do any mistake, you are not free.
The Turkana handed over 2 guns, though 120 ammunitions were missing, and Baliku Dembe wants them to be recovered and handed back to Ugandan authorities.
That those guns, those bullets will kill 120 people if they are to use 1 bullet. We want to see the gesture that you have extended in recovering the guns. You must recover the bullets. Must arrest.
He adds that the Matheniko from Moroto, who participated in the killing, should also be produced.
The Turkanas were not alone. They were with Matheniko of Uganda in Lokisile. We need them. We have got some names. We shall hunt them down, but we need much more information, especially to those who brought back the gun.
Kenyan officials from Uganda and Kenya say they are talking to their people to see that such incidents do not reoccur.
And of course tell them they should actually be engaging their people to ensure that whenever some of these things happen, and it should not even happen in the first place, it should.
Balikudembe warned Turkana pastoralists against crossing into Uganda with guns.
We need to find a solution on the issues in regard to bilateral relations and arming of the criminals and criminals crisscrossing both sides. We need to see the Turkana pastoralists arresting those ones who are searching guns in Turkana.
Talks are ongoing between officials from the two countries to bring harmony. The meeting was attended by officials from UPDF, Uganda Police, Moroto District Local Government, together with officials from Kenya. I'm Nafka Farida and Morinig.
Still in Karamoja sub-region, now we go to Abim, where Uganda People's Defense Forces last evening repulsed warriors that attacked Otalebala village, Atunga sub-county in Abim district. The incident that happened at around midnight had suspected Jia warriors quelled by the UPDF section of the 81st Infantry Battalion. Let's look more in this report.
Otataleba village, Atunga sub-county, Abim district were repulsed by Uganda People's Defense Forces. Major Isaac Oware told UBC that the UPDF was able to kill one of the warriors and also recovered an illegal firearm with 5 rounds. No livestock was stolen, but unfortunately one UPDF soldier was injured but is in stable condition. With such attacks happening almost on a daily, Chambago University lecturer Dr. Patrick Ojok talked to us about what government didn't do right after disarmament.
The government needed to have implemented a holistic disarmament program that would not just end at removing the gun, but also removing the gun mentality and then developing the land and improving the socio-economic well-being of the people of Karamoja.
He decried a thin security presence and blamed the current trend on internalization and normalization of the Karamoja issues that has caused complacency.
So right now there's so much animosity, so much hate reaction towards the entire Karamoja from the neighboring district because of the criminality of few elements in the region. So the internalization, looking at the Karamoja security situation as a Karamoja thing, is part of the problem. Then the other bit is the normalization of the security situation in Karamoja. By normalization, I mean that I think there is daily killing happening somewhere in Karamoja, but somehow it is taken as normal. There is animals stolen. There are people who are injured every day somewhere in Karamoja, but it no longer evokes the kind of remorse, the kind of human feeling, the kind of sympathy from the rest of the country.
Dr. Ojok calls for a rapid response to save the situation, especially in Abim district, where a looming famine will escalate the already dire situation.
But in Abim district and Karenga district, they are on the receiving end. And it appears that these raiders have found that Karenga and Abim district are an easy place to commit crimes and go away without sustaining injuries or even killings, except when they, in a rare occasion, they meet the soldiers and they are killed or they fight and run away. But in most cases, it is just a walkover in Abim district. And I think this is very unfair.
The Karamojong rally for responsible communication in order for the Karamoja question to attract the attention it deserves from responsible stakeholders.
If we cannot solve the Karamoja insecurity soon, we should not at least misrepresent it as being under control.
Today Today in History.
On the 7th April each year, the World Health Organization celebrates World Health Day. This date commemorates the formation of the World Health Organization in 1945, and this is when World Health Organization Constitution came into effect. The purpose of World Health Day is to create awareness about health care, working conditions, and through training and support aims to better equip healthy practitioners to provide better health services. For the past 3 years, World Health Day has aimed to create awareness about climate change, health security, and health practitioner solidarity.
Pay for your dream phone, Mpola. Get your dream phone today for as low as 1,400 Uganda shillings with free data for a year and pay slowly. All phones come with daily 50 MBs for 12 months. Repayment period is 1 year. Available at MTN service centers and M-Kopa shops.
Official announcement. The Honorable Minister of Public Service informs the general public that Friday 8th April 2022 is the official burial date for the late Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Jacob Lokori Olanya, and will be observed as a public holiday throughout Uganda. This is to allow for the citizens to attend the burial of the deceased.
Total Energies has undertaken a number of initiatives aimed at ensuring that Ugandan entities and citizens are adequately equipped to participate in the oil and gas sector.
In 2012, we started working with the Total E&P until 2019, where we worked on the replacement houses, and we delivered 30 houses for the people who were being relocated from the industrial area. We are also working with the Total Energies on over 10 kilometers of roads that we are undertaking. There's a ripple effect. We are getting the services of labor within the communities, materials. Total Energies has been of great assistance to our development. We've expanded our plant and equipment, we've developed our human resources, and we've also improved our management skills.
Total Energies EP Uganda is committed to the empowerment of Ugandans to take an active part in the overall development of the oil project in Uganda.
When COVID came, it felt like it destroyed everything my mom had built. She was ready to let go of her dreams. But when one door shuts, a window opens. She grabbed her last money and took a leap of faith. She refused to give up. So with a bit of daring and Grandma's secret recipe, her business was back. And not just bigger, beyond her wildest imagination.
This is a story of a regular Ugandan just like you, who harnessed the power of technology to provide a solution for us. How about you tell us your story? UG needs more of you. To share your story, visit airtel.co.ug/UG needs more of you, or call or SMS 162. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Moving on, a campaign to plant 1.7 million trees in Busoga sub-region by 2024 has been launched by One Acre Fund Uganda in partnership with National Forestry Authority. Now, this is aimed at deterring further prolonged droughts that have devastated the region due to the impact of climate change.
Busoga sub-region has been severely hit by the impact of climate change after most of the indigenous trees were cut purposely for sugarcane growing.
People plant sugarcane and then supply these sugarcane companies. So most of the trees have been cut because people don't have enough sufficient food to sustain themselves. So they had to clear all any other natural tree, even the mofula trees, which are a little bit, which are supposed to be protected or conserved. They were all severely cut down.
One Acre Fund Uganda, together with National Forest Authority, have now embarked on a 2-year program of planting 1.7 million Breviaria robusta in the region.
We have a very ambitious goal of distributing more than 1.7 million trees by 2024 as One Acre Fund Uganda. And we are trying to do this in partnership with different stakeholders who are stakeholders or interested and invested in the agroforestry space, as well as stakeholders who are interested in afforestation of their communities.
Farmers have been challenged to embrace the project by intercropping these trees with other food crops to realize more benefits.
Also, when leaves of Breviaria robusta falls down, it improves soil fertility. Yeah, when it decomposes, it improves the fertility of the soils. Hence, also helping farmers when they plant food, the yield is a bit very high. Then another advantage of this tree is it is faster in growth. Within a period of 10 to 12 years, you can harvest, get timber, get firewood. At the same time, you can even get poles for construction purpose out of this same tree.
Local leaders pledged their total commitment to support the development partners in implementing the project.
With everything, we are ready to work with you as One Acre Fund. We are ready to work with the government so that we can improve in our environment.
This project has been piloted in Iganga district, where more than 300 farmers received tree seedlings, and it is expected to be rolled out to other districts in the region. I'm Nafka Farida and Joseph Oko.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees needs more than $10 million to sustain the humanitarian services to the Congolese refugees who are currently held at Nyakabande Refugee Holding Ground in Kisoro District. Take a watch.
Allow me to congratulate Uganda government for this amazing open door policy.
UNHCR Assistant Representation Operations Kripe Philippe says the agency is appealing for financial support to cater for more emergency requirements in addition to what has been provided so far.
To have more than $10 million because our biggest challenge is wash, shelter, rubble. We need more money.
While coordinating emergency response services, as a leading agency in refugees emergencies, Philippe thanked the government of Uganda for the good enabling environment that makes Uganda a home for the refugees.
We managed to put tent, shelter, rubble for accommodation, also to have a mass distribution of core relief items.
He appreciated the services of all partner organizations on the ground. The OPM Refugees Desk Officer, Bina Pauline, said over 15 organizations are already on ground to provide emergency services in different areas of need, and more are still en route.
The security situation within the holding center and the transit center is very calm. We are seeing already some few individuals among the population that are showing interest to be relocated to the settlement. But currently what is being done is mainly the level 1 registration, which is more of manual registration to get data that will help us in service provision within here.
Pauline says more refugees are still reporting at the transit center, adding that the situation in DRC is uncertain. She has well held development partners in emergency response already on the ground for the job well done.
They are fearing numbers of people to come here, though the number is not as high as we had seen in the beginning of the week and last week.
She said over 80,000 refugees have so far been registered, and those willing to seek permanent asylum will be transferred to major refugee camps in Uganda.
Share that with that report there. Now, Forum for African Women Educationalists, a non-governmental organization dedicated to helping academically talented but vulnerable girls to acquire quality education, is mobilizing for 4 billion Uganda shillings to support girls who got challenges during the COVID-19 lockdown. A report released last year by National Planning Authority highlights that 30% of young girls may not have a chance of going back to school due to numerous challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, as we hear in this report.
Many people, including school-going children, have tested the challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, a report released by National Planning Authority indicates that 30% of girls may not have chance to return to school due to many challenges, including financial instability by their caretakers, but also many got pregnant during the lockdown. It is against this background that Forum for African Women Educationalists, a non-government organization, is spearheading a fundraising drive to realize 4 billion Ugandan shillings to support 2,000 vulnerable girls to go back to school.
Supported to gain some basic short-term skills so that even when they're in school, they are able to do some tasks that can facilitate them to act, to have some money to be able to look after their children. Because now we have the girls and we have the children, and some of them do not have responsible people around them. They do not have conducive homes. Some of them do not have parents. So the issue about, and then of course the fathers or the people that have made them pregnant or so have run away from.
And I want to urge all vulnerable girls and also parents, through education, give a chance to the girl.
Forum for African Women Educationalists supports academically talented but vulnerable girls to acquire quality education.
I started roasting chicken when I was a child, and that's where Fawe picked me up. It picked me up when I was at the batch of giving up, because children used to laugh at me, children used to call me all sorts of names, but Fawe gave me a chance, educated me, and today I'm a CEO of Grana Fish Supplies Limited.
All well-wishers, organizations and companies have been urged to support the cause to help vulnerable girls return to school. I'm Nafka Farida and Adiana Kuti.
To issues now pertaining to world health, and health experts are worried about the quality of air people breathe as a result of burning of fossil fuels. This was revealed during the commemoration of World Health Day at the Ministry of Health headquarters. Now, the day is aimed at creating awareness on the well-being of the world population.
Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate the World Health Day, aimed at creating awareness on the general well-being of the population under the theme Our Planet, Our Health. In order to mitigate the diverse effects of climate change and purify the quality of air, Ministry of Health and its partners have urged the public to conserve and protect the environment.
We need to have cleaner environment as we plan our cities. We must leave space for green park for people to exercise, but we also have to make sure that the quality of air is improving every day, because it's contributing to a lot of respiratory tract infections, and some of these, like polluted air, can also predispose us to cancers and other non-communicable diseases due to the environment. We also know that when the environment is not as good, it becomes a breeding site for vectors like mosquitoes, then which spread up malaria. So as a government, we are looking at the whole environment, the whole spectrum, to contribute to better health.
Over 100 trees were planted as part of the activities to mark the World Health Day in the country. Dignitaries from World Health Organization, Ministry of Health officials and other health implementing partners took part in the celebrations. The World Health Organization representative called for collective efforts from all stakeholders in the fight against climate change.
Appeal is an appeal to leaders and all people to take accelerated action to preserve and protect health and mitigate the climate crisis. WHO renews its commitment to support the government of Uganda in implementing the commitment made at COP26 on combating the effects of climate change by providing the necessary guidelines and technical support for implementing these commitments, including evidence generation.
According to World Health Organization, over 99% of people breathe poor quality air resulting from burning of fossil fuels. This results in 13 deaths per minute from lung cancer, heart disease and stroke, thus killing 7 million people every year globally. Miriam Numcha and Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
To Kabarole district now, where police along with Youth Integrated Development Organization YIDO embarked on a learners sensitization campaign in schools in Rwenzori sub-region to curb crime through schools against crime clubs. The training has been conducted in Kabarole district in the Rwenzori sub-region.
Development Organization YIDO in partnership with Uganda Police are spearheading mindset change and how to safeguard schools against crimes.
In a number of schools where we have gone, the turn-up has declined 70%, and the causes are very, very numerous. However, we have discovered that use of drugs has derailed the students' turn-up.
Some of the silent factors that are beneath these problems are found in poor social infrastructure, whereby the institutions of moral generation have decayed, I would say.
Students from Kabarole Hillside St. Leo's School Chegobe and Kabuyo Senior Secondary School gathered to listen and learn on how to prevent pet crimes that often take them unaware at school.
Important that we have these sessions in schools because they help the learners to be redirected into a right angle, such that at the end of the day they are able to score and achieve.
Apoli Tumwesje, Regional Gender Focal Person, says that training aimed at building a free crime society.
Crime is there, but it is being glorified by parents and stakeholders. Glorification of ignorance, glorification of crime is a big challenge. A problem is there, but people are sugarcoating it. So, and when things fall apart, they say, police, where are you?
Kwizera George from the Youth Integrated Development Organization YIDO outlined the need to train students in order to transform the society.
We would call upon other civil societies that have the same approach to come in to make sure youth and especially our education does not crumble.
Since 2005, schools against crime training indeed scaled down the rise of crimes in schools. Mutesa Sir Haruna, UBC News.
To courts of law now, where the hearing of the bigamy case where city lawyer Hassan Male Mabirizi wants to quash a city pastor Aloysius Bugingo's bail at Entebbe Magistrates Court has flopped. The complainant, Hassan Male Mabirizi, was not ready to proceed with this matter, alleging failure to file documents necessary in his application since they were confiscated by one superintendent of prisons, Aiko Mundu Hussein. This case is presided over by Judge Isaac Mwata.
The Mbatoti City lawyer Hassan Male Mabirizi appeared at High Court Criminal Division before Judge Isaac Mwata to proceed with the case where he wants court to cancel City Pastor Aloysius Bugingo's bail, which he was granted by Magistrate Stella Pachura of Entebbe Grade 1 Magistrates Court on charges of bigamy. Prosecution Timothy Emelit pleaded to court to dismiss Mabirizi's application, citing that it's buried in the law. Although court was set to proceed with the hearing of this matter, it was impossible, since the complainant Hassan Male Mabirizi was not able to proceed with the case, citing confiscation of his files by superintendent of prison at Chitalia, Aiko Mundu Hussein.
Not to proceed is a matter of great importance to the court to do with Uganda Prison Service. Have been confiscated. That's why I'm even late. They have searched me 5 times. My submission to authorities, plus I also prefer access to internet.
Mabirizi asked court to grant him access to internet and his documents while in prison, a prayer granted by Judge Isaac Mwata. Judge Isaac Muwata adjourned the matter to 21st April 2022. For further hearing, Asani Malemabirizi filed this case against the Attorney General, asking court to cancel Magistrate Stella Pechura's ruling when he allowed State Pastor Rosias Bujingo to be granted bail. Mabirizi alleges that City Pastor Rosias Bujingo is a threat to his life following some utterances he made when he dragged him to court over bigamy offences. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Kichusa Town Council in Luweero District has passed numerous developmental bylaws, including halting of the sale of plots below 50 by 100 feet in order to avoid establishment of slums in the area. However, this has been met with mixed reactions by the residents of the area, as we watch in this report.
Buying land plots less than 50 by 100 in Kichusa Town Council, Luweero District, has been suspended to enable development and good planning of this town. The Town Council technical staff, political leaders and chairpersons of LC1, 2 and 3 held a meeting at the headquarters where chairpersons were encouraged to work together with the leaders to stop communities selling substandard portions of plots.
So we advise our citizens to stop buying the smaller plots to avoid the problem of Kichusa Town Council. That's why we beg kindly our people to buy the plot which is necessary.
Mpima, however, requested government to allocate funds for the newly created cities, municipals and town councils to enable them have good plans for these towns.
We do not have the cars, roads for garbaging. That's why we are not yet clean. 20 to 20, where are you going to put a toilet? Where are you going to put other requirements for the home? That's why we are called here to advise not to make agreement for people having 20 to 20, 20 to 30. That one, they will not approve your plot. The problem you have is what Museveni is complaining about. This cutting the plot when the children when the parents have died. Then each one takes 20 by 20, 10 by 10.
Relatedly, the chairpersons of LC1, 2, 3 and the technical staff of Kichusa Town Council have commended the late Muwanguzi of Kichusa, who donated the land on which they constructed the technical school for the good work done serving their nation.
Wamu n'omukadde waffe mukyala Muwanguzi Christine kulebyo.
News tonight takes yet another short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans. Get a top-up loan when you have insufficient funds to buy airtime, pay utility bills, or make payments at a local supermarket. Complete your transaction and pay later. Dial *185 *7 *10# to opt in. Get an Airtel Money Quick Loan and pay later. Choose our with Airtel Money Quick Loans in partnership with Housing Finance Bank and powered by Yabex. Airtel, the smartphone network.
COVID-19 is still here with us. As Owechitiwa Peter Maiga, the Prime Minister of Buganda, states, let us all take the necessary precautions.
Self-medication is always very dangerous. We should leave medical matters to the medical personnel. It's only a healthy population that can produce wealth. And if you want to work for your well-being, you must care about your health first.
Because of the new COVID-19 circulating variants like Omicron, it is very important for all of us to be fully vaccinated with 2 doses of the same vaccine type. It's only those getting Johnson & Johnson who receive only a single dose to be fully protected.
Even after vaccination, continue to adhere to all SOPs by wearing a mask properly, covering your mouth and nose, washing your hands regularly with soap and clean water or using an alcohol-based sanitizer, maintaining physical distance of at least 2 meters from others and avoiding crowds. Echa COVID-19, chijja kugwa. This message is from the Ministry of Health with support from UNICEF and partners.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Board of Directors, Management, and staff of Uganda Revenue Authority express sincere condolences on the passing of the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Lokori Oulanyah. Right Honourable Oulanyah will particularly be remembered for consistently defending the Constitution and championing policies on economic development. His respect for the rule of law and dedication to serving his country was indeed admirable. He was a true leader and a patriot who tirelessly championed unity, transparency, and accountability. His passion and commitment towards developing our nation will remain a source of inspiration for many of us. Our heartfelt sympathies go out to his family, the Parliament of Uganda, and all Ugandans in this trying time.
Official announcement. The Honorable Minister of Public Service informs the general public that Friday 8th April 2022 is the official burial date for the late Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Jacob Lokori Oulanyah, and will be observed as a public holiday throughout Uganda. This is to allow for the citizens to attend the burial of the deceased.
Need to send money to a loved one but you don't have enough on your phone? Have you run out of fuel but you don't have enough money? Do you want to pay for yaka or water but have insufficient funds? Or do you want to shop but you don't have enough money? Don't worry, get away with MTN Momo Advance. Momo Advance tops up your Momo to complete your transactions. Dial *165*5*3# to apply. MTN Momo Advance is always available when you need it.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. Rubis Energy Uganda has unveiled 7 new Rubis branded service stations across Uganda in a bid to bring its products and services closer to more Ugandans. The new and revamped stations, which include Rubis Kawempe, Makerere, Bwebaja, Kasubi, Jinja Highway, Jinja Town, Buwenje and Seta. We have more in this report.
This unveiling ceremony officially brings the number of fully branded Rubis petrol stations to 24 ever since fully acquiring Delta and Kobil stations in 2021.
Rubis Energy Uganda has 2 depots in the country and we have also depots in Kenya. So we have a dedicated storage for us to support us, which can cover at least 2 to 3 months. The capacity is around 60,000 meter cube.
Despite the current global fuel shortage and political disruptions in Kenya and Europe, the sector player is confident of sustaining supply using the 2 alternative routes available for fuel importation.
Uganda is lucky enough because we access products from 2 routes. There is the route from Kenya and then the route from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So as Rubis, we are sourcing products from the 2 routes. So in case in the route from Kenya has challenges, definitely the route from Dar es Salaam will continue supporting us.
Due to stiff competition on the market, the need to innovate superior fuel products is being demanded by Ugandan motorists.
Ultratech is an additive that is added into the normal fuel. So what Ultratech does, on the other hand, is the chemical that is added into this fuel doesn't change the chemical composition of the fuel, of petrol or diesel. But however, on the other hand, the properties or benefits that come with this additive include elements of being able to clean up all the dirty deposits within your engine.
Rubis Energy is growing into one of the leading oil and gas companies in the country, with a market network of 54 stations countrywide, standing at the third slot after Shell and Total respectively. Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News, Kampala.
Professional engineers and contractors in Uganda have cited delayed payment and non-adherence to set procurement guidelines as some of the challenges facing their service delivery. This was during a breakfast dialogue meeting under the theme Contractors' Readiness to Undertake Projects in the Oil and Gas Sector, facilitated by Kenya Commercial Bank at Hotel Africana here in Kampala.
Despite the growing professionalism among the Ugandan engineers and contractors, delayed payment and procurement bureaucracies still affect their work. The engineers and contractors, led by the association president James Olonya, highlighted more challenges facing the sector, which calls for the intervention of all stakeholders, especially government, since the sector now accounts for 12% of the country's GDP.
You have no capacity. If you have never done a job of 50 billion, you cannot tender for a job of 5 billion. And you put it as a condition.
Most of them remain on paper. The local content policy is a very, very good policy for this country. Very good policy for this country. That it would help government to prevent capital flight. However, the challenge which is there is with the implementing entities.
Uganda has about 1,580 contractors. Some of them are not in the formal arrangement, but UNAPSEC has about close to 396 of those numbers of genuine providers. Now, we need to be able to enable our people to know how to take advantage of the opportunity that the oil and gas sector has.
In his keynote address via Zoom, the Private Sector Foundation Board Chairman, Honorable Elika Ruhanga, urged them to develop a culture of working with other stakeholders in the legal profession so as to streamline their services.
And what I'm looking forward to, and that's why I'm spending the whole morning with you, is to see how we can work together, hand in glove, and really advocate for change of policy and understanding.
The head of the KCB corporate banking arm, Ramla Nantongo, pledged her bank support to the engineers and contractors in such interventions.
These contractors want to be able to play in that space, but they need funding. So that's where us as a bank will come in, to be able to provide structured solutions towards those contracts.
They also observed that though Ugandan contractors and engineers are entitled to at least 40% of any Ugandan contract awarded to foreigners, this requirement is often ignored. Story compiled by Juko Collins for UBC News.
Sports news now, and we begin with rugby, where Uganda Rugby Union has committed to host a worthwhile Rugby Africa Men's Sevens tournament. It is scheduled for the 23rd and 24th April at Chadondo Rugby Club.
In a fortnight, Uganda is to host 13 other nations for the Rugby Africa Sevens tournament.
The format of the tournament is really a knockout almost from the beginning. There will be 14 teams playing one round of games. After that, the top 4 teams will be given a bye to the next stage. Then the remaining teams will go into another round of play to determine the top 4 again that will join the other 4 in 2 pools. So Pool A and Pool B for the championship.
This tournament that has been boosted by 200 million shillings from Nile Special is a qualifier to both the World Cup Rugby Sevens and the Commonwealth Games due in UK next July.
As now Breweries, we invested in rugby, not just the sevens, but overall, because we feel that this is a very big opportunity for us to see the flag lifted even higher. The sevens specifically have been a very big part of making us proud, from their qualification to the World Cup in 2018 in San Francisco, to them winning the African trophy that year, the same year. So they have really flown the flag so high.
Uganda's team, tutored by Tolbert Onyango, is already in camp with players like Michael Wokorach, Desire Ayela, Timothy Kisiga and Ian Munyani among the cast.
The teams are under training. They've been training since last year for this particular event. We've seen them going to Dubai, Cape Town, Stellenbosch twice. The national sevens here were at a high level, and right now we are going to go into camp on Easter Monday for that game. We've been champions twice, same tactician, a few new players, but we believe that we have a slot or a shot at the championship.
Some of the nations expected include reigning champions Kenya, Senegal, Zimbabwe, Madagascar, Cameroon, Burundi, Tunisia and Ghana. The top three will earn a slot at the Rugby Sevens World Cup in South Africa next September, while the top two will be at the Commonwealth Games in UK next July. John Barnes, Sentamu, reporting.
And that story brings us to the end of this first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. Remember that our second and final edition comes your way at 10 p.m. On sign language, it has been Elizabeth Nakakuni and Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. See you at 10.